Hi, Kristen Hoover, Senior Executive with Usborne Story, and I just wanted to share a little bit about my story. I went to a party in 2015, February, and one of my good friends was hosting, and she had just joined. And anyway, I didn't really participate in the party. I didn't buy anything from her, but I was interested in hosting my own. So I went ahead and I hosted a party, and it barely made party status. And out of that party, I decided that I was going to go ahead and join the business myself. And when I reached out to some of my friends and family, I was one of those who was a little bit worried about being overly pushy. And so I probably just did soft asks where I mostly announced that I was doing this. And for some reason, nobody wanted to really do any parties out of that. But I was pretty undeterred because there were a couple little goals that I had in my goal of joining. The one was is that I wanted to help my family get some books. I liked the books a lot. And the other was that I wanted to help pay off our NICU bills. And we had spent 5 weeks in the NICU. My youngest was born at 31 weeks. And we stayed at Ronald McDonald House for those 5 weeks, and I really wanted to do something to benefit them. So I decided to go ahead and do a book drive. And the book drive that I did, we did it in February. Diana encouraged me to just go ahead and do it, and I remember messaging Diana, oh, what if it's unsuccessful? What if it totally fails? And she's like, well, just do it. So I reached out and went ahead and did that, and she messaged me partway through that first day, and she said, because she was following along with how it was going, and she said, remember when you messaged me and you asked me, what if it's unsuccessful? Because at that point we had about $800 in sales, or in donations. And so it was obviously plenty successful. And from that party, or that book drive, I got so excited about it. I was like, well, maybe I could earn my whole kit back instead of just half. And so I decided I was going to go ahead and host my own party again, even though I just hosted one. And I threw that party together, and out of that party, I got my contacts, a series of parties, and eventually my first couple recruits came out of the contacts from that party. And I at the end of my second month, Diana messaged me and she said, you're really, really close to meeting month one. You really should just go for it. And I was just like, no, you don't understand. And like, my life was crazy busy. The next month I was going to be preaching an evangelistic series for our church, and so the last 15 days of the month I was going to be completely 100% booked, and I couldn't do anything during that time. And I had one party on my calendar, and she said, well, it's $200 cash and $300 in books. And so I was like, well, I'll ask my husband what he thinks. And I totally 100% expected him to say no, but he said, go for it. And I was like, okay, well then I'll go for it. And Katie and Diana, they help support my girls who are trying to promote or to get Success Bound, so that I could go ahead and do this while I was still having this crazy month, and I was going to be doing all of these sermon preparations and all these other things during the end of the month. And there was a girl who was going to host a party. She was my one party on my calendar that month, and she canceled because she got sick and she ended up in the hospital. And so I reached out and I tried to rebook her slot, and ended up with a girl who asked me if she could go ahead and donate the books to a couple families that she was close with, who were overseas doing mission work, and they were going to be coming home on furlough, and they wanted to donate the books. And so from that, I ended up promoting Express Success, and shortly after that promotion, my team doubled in size, and it it really had very little to do with me. I had an amazing bunch of ladies who I was working with, and then in August they doubled in size again, and I earned the cruise for 2, and it happened very organically. It wasn't like I was really searching and seeking to actually hit that particular goal. It was more that it just kind of came about with the other goals that were going on. And from there, I promoted out some team members and ended up that first year as a senior team leader. And I would just say that the biggest impact that this business has had is like prior to this, I never really in a million years thought that this was going to be a business for me. It was mostly just like I liked the books. I loved the books. And my biggest hope was just to be able to help pay off some of our NICU bills. We've managed to pay off a good portion of any of the things that was debt. We still have one more NICU bill that we're working on at this point, but we've paid off our fifth will, which was our housing expense. We sold the fifth will, and then after doing that, we also went ahead and paid off some other medical bills that we had, and once we get this other NICU bill paid off, we'll be debt free. And it's been such a huge thing, because prior to that, we had lived in California. My husband made significantly more money, and I was working outside of the home. And then we came and moved to West Virginia. He took a significant pay cut, and the only area of our budget that we could kind of play around with, even the littlest bit, was to be able to play around with our food amount that we were. So like if I wanted to save, we could like cut back on our food expenses, and that was like the only area. And I took the cash for the cruise trip, and we went to see my family, and that covered the tickets for us to fly. And then for Christmas this year, we flew to Texas with four tickets, and that would have never been possible prior to this. And in addition to that, there's just these other little things it's been able to help our finances with, and we're able to continue working on our remodeling of our house so that we can eventually sell it and move. But like it has been so much bigger than I ever dreamt. And right now, I'm working on trying to promote again to director, with the hopes that I'm going to be able to give my husband the freedom to choose to do something else for a living. He currently works as a nurse, and while it makes good money and it is consistent and he can get a job anywhere, he really doesn't like it. And I would really love for him to be able to choose to do something that he enjoys, and for us to be able to kind of move more towards a bigger dream that we have. I would love to start a ministry, and we'd like to have an organic farm and a lifestyle center, and I want to have a horse ministry. So anyway, I just would really encourage you, no matter where you are in this journey, just to make goals, and to really reach out for them, because I would have never in a million years, had you asked me in February, oh, you're going to sell stuff? Like, no, like that's just not who I am. And but it has given me like amazing friendships and just such a huge opportunity to be able to meet so many amazing people, and to be able to help spread literacy, and to be able to do so many things beyond what we were currently able to do. So anyway, thank you guys.